arguably one of the greatest chapters in my life.
Danny Coker was once a star on Pawn Stars, so when he mysteriously left the show, everyone was extremely shocked and confused. But now, some shady possible reasons for his disappearance have come out and have left everyone speechless.
I worked with him then, and then just kept on working with him my whole life.
So 6 years ago, it was reported that he had gotten involved in an embezzlement scandal. But to tell that story properly, we need to go all the way back to the beginning. Pawn Stars was already shaping up to be a big hit by the time Danny joined the cast. After getting started in 2009, the show had already put out multiple seasons before Danny started making appearances as a local expert. And because he was so much fun to watch, he ended up getting his own spin-off show. His show, Counting Cars, made its debut in August 2012. Even though it wasn't the same hit that Pawn Stars was, the show was doing well enough that it demanded pretty much all of Danny's time. However, a shocking incident threatened to bring everything crashing down. In 2017, Daddy's auto shop, Count Customs, claimed that a former employee took an insane amount of money from the company without their knowledge. The business stated that more than $75,000 of the company's money was used to cover the employee's personal expenses. In a lawsuit filed in March that year, the company, which was featured on Danny's show, accused former employee Joseph Frontiera of the theft, and the way they said that he did it was really stupid. They claimed Joseph used company money to put a down payment on his personal Land Rover Range Rover. Not only that, but allegedly Joseph also used the money to buy airline tickets for his personal use. The complaint went further, accusing a Delaware-based hiring firm of referring Joseph for the job without disclosing his employment history. When Joseph's past was eventually uncovered, it turned out that he had a history of doing this, as his employment history actually included prior charges of embezzlement. Without consulting Danny or any of his other bosses, Joseph had signature stamps made of Daniel and business partner Kevin Mack. He allegedly did this so that he could stamp checks when they weren't there. At that point, Danny had run the business for around 15 years. So obviously, when his TV fame started bringing employees who were looking for trouble, he had to put his full focus on protecting his shop. Danny took the situation to court, where he filed suit against his former employee. According to the lawsuit, Joseph had been working at the company since June 2013, 1 year after Danny got his own show. The lawsuit stated that Joseph represented himself as a qualified employee without negative employment history or criminal history. However, when Count Customs started spotting irregularities in its accounting, Danny must have known something was up. Not only were Count Customs accounts looking odd, some of their clients' accounts and projects also didn't look right. This forced Danny and his company to do their own background checks on Joseph, and they were appalled by what they found. Their checks confirmed that the employee had a criminal history of embezzlement and fraud with a past employer in Florida. After so much drama, it would be pretty understandable if this was why Danny took a step back from appearing on Pawn Stars. But not only because he would need the time to fight his case, it would probably also cause a whole lot more stress in his life and make him less likely to want to be in front of the camera. Despite his confident and positive appearance on his shows, it has been reported that Danny was actually pretty camera shy. Apparently, this helped to explain his unique dress sense during filming. When Danny's fashion sense came up on Reddit, one user asked why he always wore a bandana. Another user responded to give an answer that helped explain a lot. According to them, Danny always wore a bandana to hide a receding hairline. The Reddit user went on to add that Danny really needed to give in to his receding hair, and also needed to ditch what the user called his stupid black bandana because it wasn't fooling anyone. However, there has been another common theory about what happened to Danny that needed to be taken a lot more seriously. Many people were concerned that he might actually be suffering from bad health, and although thankfully this hasn't proved to be the case, rumors about Danny's health have been around for years. In fact, the same also went for his wife. A pretty sick rumor went around for a while that his wife had passed away after a car accident. Although none of the rumors have turned out to be true, they did show how popular Danny was and how worried they got when he didn't appear on his shows. But could there be another serious concern that made Danny leave Pawn Stars? One potential theory that never went away was that Danny fell out with Pawn Stars main cast member Rick Harrison. Rick and Danny had known each other for a very long time before Danny joined the show. He had actually used to ride motorcycles with Rick's brother, and it was Rick's idea to try and get him on the show. Since Rick clearly had the influence to get him hired, it would be fair to guess that a falling out between the pair would see Danny being forced to leave. As far as we know, nothing has happened between Danny and Rick, who always valued Danny's impressive knowledge of cars. However, it would be the case that something has happened that neither men have been prepared to discuss. Danny's most recent controversy regarding the lawsuit against his employee once again saw him disappear from our screens. According to sources, he was just so stressed out by the entire process that he needed some distance from the public spotlight for a while. When he sued the hiring firm that sent Joseph to work for him, they countersued his shop. It was alleged that the claims Danny and Count Customs made had no factual support to back them up. The firm also claimed in court papers that its contract with Count Customs had not allowed Joseph to handle cash. So if he had embezzled money from the company, the blame could not be put on the firm that sent him there. Some people thought that this alone should not have been enough to make Danny run away from TV work. However, it wasn't the first time that he had to be in court since getting his show. Not long after the show first aired, a lawsuit was brought against them by a couple who had brought their car on the show. They alleged that Danny's shop refused to finish the restoration for their Ford Mustang by the date they had promised. They also said that the car never appeared on the show and that work had not even started. After first asking for a refund, the couple eventually sued for $50,000. On top of his legal troubles, Danny soon started facing criticism for his role on the show. Although he was known as a car expert, some viewers noticed that he didn't seem to do anything with the cars on the show. While his crew worked on the vehicles, Danny stuck to presenting the show. But despite the critics, there were many more people who have been desperate for Danny and Counting Cars to make a comeback. And there's probably even more who would love to see him back on Pawn Stars too. But what do you guys think? Will Danny ever return to Pawn Stars, and what really made him leave in the first place? Let me know in the comments below.